You and me, son, we're different. We're special. We're connected to the land and the sea. We're harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley, and I'm part of a four-man Octobot infiltration podcast. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and this situation is getting really out of control.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm already so bored. I don't even know which end of the Brian King to look at.
Have you seen the size of my thigh pads? I'm processing a lot of urine. I'm Alaric Weber.
Desalinization.
Yeah, do you need it in the ocean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's salt water, dude.
He had to put on a special different... Oh, it made him invisible, but yeah. Like, here, put on this underwater suit.
He has so many suits. And he decided not to wear them. Halfway through this shoot, what's his face? Fucking Aquaman. Momoa showed up and was like, yeah, I'm not putting on any more suits. You're just going to film me in my jacket and like jeans for the rest of the movie.
I heard a rumor recently that he might be playing Lobo.
He's been fighting for that role forever.
Which is fantastic casting.
I'll take
absolutely
that.
Perfect. But the problem is, Zack Snyder tried to be progressive. And, like, I don't want a thin blonde Aquaman. I want this guy. But now he's Aquaman.
Well, I think
should have been Lobo.
I think he can do both. I really do.
Yeah,
I think people will forget about Aquaman very quickly.
Yeah, I think people are very willing to forget about Aquaman.
For sure.
I
don't think it's going to stop anything, but like, don't you every now and then remember Chris Evans as Johnny Storm?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he's absolutely Steve Rogers. Absolutely. But
yeah,
sometimes my brain is like, you're two different people in the same sphere. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't ruin anything, but it's just Snyder and his weird choices. He wanted to be edgy. He wanted to be edgy.
Had
so
two
he got
Lobo movies instead.
This is a crazy end for the Snyderverse.
This is a poetic end to the Snyderverse.
Yeah, the fact that
I dislike it on a different level. I can't put my finger on it, but sometimes we dislike shit and it's fun to. There's a problem with this that I can't put my finger on.
I mean,
I'll try.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with this. This is a movie we're watching, and we're watching movies because this is Harmless Phosphorescence, the deep dive movie podcast, where we pick a theme or series, we watch the movies, we gather some research into the production and source material, and tell you all about it. We are back onto our main comic book movie, superhero movie run.
We're back on our bullshit.
Yeah, that will be going forever until they stop making them off and on. This show
totally back on our bullshit.
Yeah, really back on it. This show is brought to you by our patrons, like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Got a lot of bonus stuff there. We've got a bunch of monthly movie podcasts, a bunch of old, not old, but a bunch of previously evergreen stuff about music and Star Wars and different holiday episodes. And what was our last monthly movie we did? Brick. That was fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great movie. This month we'll be doing The Running Man. That'll be coming up. Arnold is back. He's running. He's not slow. He's
definitely man.
He's a man.
I want to remind you, dear listeners, if you are not a patron, that even the minimal amount, sign up and I will send you a personalized video. Either you can try to offend me, or I'll roast you, or I'll record some lie you might want to tell your parents. Yeah, he's definitely in law school. So join the Patreon. I'll make a free video for you.
And that's an offer you can bank on, listeners. So $1 a month, that's all you need.
Especially our law student listeners.
Yes.
We know you're out there.
Yeah, Josh will tell your parents you passed the bar. I'm not sure what sort of weight that carries with your parents, but he'll tell them.
Yeah, I'll also be a beard if you're in the closet. None of
If you need a
or
plus one.
I'll help you come out, or I'll help you break some bad news to your parents. Anything you want.
Josh is an all. That's a lot of value for $1 a month, guys. Patreon.
I think so.
/Harmless Entertainment. Check it out. This is, I think, the longest we've ever taken getting to our movie. This week on Harmless Entertainment, we're watching Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Last Kingdom. It doesn't matter.
4 years ago, I was basically unemployed. A wanderer with no home. But now, I'm a husband and a father. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know how you did it, Pops. My job was a little less stressful than yours. Oh yeah, I finally got a job. I'm the king of Atlantis. 500 million people from every known species in the sea call this place home. But that doesn't mean they all like me. I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear. I'm gonna murder his family and burn his kingdom to ash.
He must be stopped, or a global meltdown is imminent.
I think I know someone who might be able to help us. Ooh, you look rough. Good job, little brother. High five.
Do not call me brother. I cannot believe you let this happen.
Yeah, well, I hate this job.
True king builds bridges, right?
True king builds bridges.
We need to find Manta.
He's different now. He's stronger than before.
It's the Black Trident. During King Atlan's time, there were 7 kingdoms. The Trident was a curse upon them all.
Dragon's dark magic is spreading.
He means to end the bloodline.
I don't know what lies ahead. But we can't leave our children a world without hope.
You're not as bad at this as you think. If you lead, the 7 kingdoms will follow.
Yes, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That was really this is the plot of the movie trailer.
Yeah. There wasn't even much action. And that voiceover he gives makes sense in the movie, but in the trailer it feels like so. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird to have the main character of a movie read the trailer copy instead of having like a trailer voice.
Yeah.
He was unemployed. Now he's the king. Like,
And it's the chief exposition that gets it. You know what I mean? So he basically told the explanation that made it different from the first movie. So weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. This movie's weird. This is a real this movie came out 5 years after the first one. It was supposed to come out 2 years after the first one, kind of feel to it.
Yeah. And to not revamp. I mean, Black Manta looks awesome. He's a cool villain. But just to make it a continuation of that vendetta after 5 years.
It's weird that it's the same villain with the same, with really the same motivation, and it's still all about tridents.
Yeah, magical trident. And his brother, who I cannot figure out what special skills he brings to the table other than a possible ally. Do you know what I mean? Like, why does in both movies he has to enlist that dude's help?
Well, he was.
It never quite explains itself.
He always knows a guy because he was doing backroom dealings as the king.
And that happened in this.
Yeah.
But there are even scenes in both movies where he like turns and gives Aquaman the signal to kick ass. So he can't even really, I don't know. I just can't figure out why they have to include him in the second movie.
I mean, he's the co-lead of the second movie, basically. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, they needed to make it a buddy picture, else it's a guy talking to fish.
Well, yeah, because the first one was
but why not somebody else?
The first one was a buddy picture with Amber Heard, and they're like, we don't want to do that again.
Which is an interesting choice because they just had a baby, in the story, and that would have been a much more interesting development story-wise than him and his brother again.
But instead she gets one scene, and then it's now she has to sleep for the rest of the movie.
And it's funny because in the canon of Aquaman, much like the Deep, he would sometimes complain about being lonely. Like nobody has a power like his power. He spends most of his time in the cold.
Nobody else has to hear all these fish all the time.
Right.
They won't shut the hell up. There's so many of them. They're always talking about fish stuff.
But Aquaman could find a ride or die in these movies anywhere.
Yeah.
Including his brother.
Yeah. Oh, Aquaman. He's
Dolph
got his
Lundgren, his mom, his dad. He's got a bunch of family.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of family.
For a loner, he is surrounded by support systems.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, not to even mention in the other movies where he hangs out with Ezra Miller and shit.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that's true.
Last time we saw him was in The Flash, where he was drunk with Ezra Miller.
Yeah, I think Aquaman's real problem that is never really reflected on is addiction, I guess.
Yeah, he's an alcoholic. That's really what Aquaman's about.
It's like, I never had a job. I was just wander from port to port. Like, oh, wait.
Luckily, he has a Guinness sponsorship, so it can't cost.
Yeah. I think they should have leaned more into, like, the burden and bureaucracy of being a king. Like Tessa Thompson nailed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in Love and Thunder. Like she hates that. She's a warrior. She's on the front line. And then they show her having to make decisions about bullshit. In this, it was just one mention. It might have been fun to have a small scene of him just not being able to handle
and
what's in front of him.
Also it was done in such primary colors. It was him literally telling us like I want to do stuff, but they won't let me because of the bureaucracy. He literally says it.
I want to do the first movie again, but I'm the king, so I can't. We'll see about that, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the plot of this movie.
So this movie, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, was released December 22nd, 2023. It has a running time of 124 minutes. It cost $215 million, and it made $434 million. So they didn't really make money, but it wasn't like a total disaster financially either. It was kind of like Zaslav gets to write a little bit of it off or something.
Yeah, it's weird. Aquaman fans, I don't know how many there are, but they take them seriously.
Yeah, both of those guys are really into it. So it did okay. It was released, so we're going to play the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of December 22nd, 2023. Those long gone halcyon days of this 6 months ago. And
like if it was 1975, I could guess every single one. Right. But less than a year ago, I'm not going to remember shit.
So the top 10 movies of the week for December 23rd, 2023 at number 10. Adam Driver does a silly accent.
Gucci.
And also the the chick that was supposed to be Mary Jane but wasn't is in it. And Penelope Cruz gets an Oscar nomination.
Oh. First I thought it was that like medieval movie with Matt Damon.
This is a Michael Mann film.
Oh.
It is a biopic set in the 50s about cars.
Oh, Enzo Ferrari.
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 Yes, Ferrari. Not furry. Ferrari.
Ferrari.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
And
curious
I
how it
like
does that.
I like cars and car
Well, and
movies.
I just watched Ford v Ferrari, and I'm curious how
Oh.
he plays that same character
that
because they
Yeah.
made him very
From-
distinct.
No. From what I gather is like, for like Adam Driver's basically doing like the dude from the pizza box as an accent, but like
That's a spicy meatball.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
should have been a Mario.
yeah, he's basically doing that, but everyone's like, it works somehow.
He's a really good actor. I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it.
One of my favorite car movies is older. It's Jeff Bridges, but Tucker, A Man in His Dream.
Ooh,
If you haven't seen that movie, it's cool.
That movie, weirdly enough, got. I remember I was in junior high when it came out. We probably you.
Yeah, it's about right.
We all were, but not Brian though. But
Not you, Guillermo.
but it was part of our curriculum. Like it came out, and like our history teacher was like, "Look, they gave us stuff from the movie. Now we can learn about Tucker." And that was the first time I was like, "Wow." This is a movie. Are we sure this is cool, guys?
But I loved that about growing up. You know, they would just show you. I love Mr. Harrington showed The Wall
Oh yeah.
in his room.
Oh yeah, we had a teacher show the wall.
Only because he was a Pink Floyd fanatic, posters all over the classroom. But it's just like, in what context is this?
We had it in guitar class, which was fascinating.
Yeah, no, he
2
was
days of
the-
the wall in guitar class.
He was the English drama teacher. Smart dude.
Our computer
Grumpy as a crab, but
our computer teacher, Mr. Madaheim, when you could take a class that was
Yeah.
just computer,
yeah.
was he would show movies like every other week, and the only thing is that there needed to be a computer in the movie at some point for it to count. It was
like Kimmy Schmidt's GED class where the teacher just plays Major League every day.
At number 9 this week at the box office. This is gonna be a long episode somehow.
This is going to be our longest
I mean,
episode.
it's a podcast.
Yeah.
Well, because we've already talked about this movie once, so.
Well, and tangents. You know, otherwise we're just a review show.
Yeah, otherwise it might as well be 10 minutes long. And
Right. There are 15-year-olds on YouTube who can tell you what happened in Aquaman. But they don't have our certain je ne sais quoi. They don't have our
certain
wit and
I don't know what.
a certain. I don't know.
At number 9, Coriolanus Snow mentors and develops feelings for a female.
Oh, this is Hunger Games.
You knew the name
Oh.
Coriolanus Snow?
Well, because it's a
I know this
great
movie,
name for a science fiction character.
Oh, is it like Carol
It's a young
or something like that?
No, this is a young bad guy from Hunger Games.
Yeah, it's Hunger
The
Games.
movie.
The Ballad
What
of
is it called? The
Songbirds and
Songs?
Snakes.
Yeah, it's Snake
Oh,
Song.
that very movie. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was thinking stars from that into something else.
I just follow who gets cast as a young Sutherland anytime that they do it. It's very important to me that I'm
Andrea,
on top of that
Jerica,
news.
and Ella are all huge fans, and so we
Of Donald
own them.
Sutherland? I mean, obviously.
Somewhat, no, but
Hard not
of
to be.
Hunger Games.
I
So
read.
mostly my awareness is them.
I did read the books when like 10,
Really?
15 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's fine. Well,
Quick reads.
yeah, there was a I miss reading. I did a lot of reading, but which I
The
just
premise
don't
is
anymore.
fantastic. It's a fantastic premise with a very unique view on a dystopian future.
Yeah, and then
I like the ones where the future isn't all that different, except for one very dramatic fucking thing.
I like the theory that from this series in particular, that the rest of the world's fine, and this is just what's happening in America right now.
Oh yeah.
Totally believable.
At number,
but it's the bread and circus things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they rule with an iron fist, but it's like give them bread, give them entertainment.
Mm-hmm. At number 8 this week, the fate of a violently contested kingdom hangs on the fraught bond between two friends turned foes in this saga of power, bloodshed, and betrayal. I have never heard of this movie until this very moment.
Aquaman 2.
I know. It was started out like that.
It looks like this is probably a Bollywood film that did well in the U.S. I don't think any of us would have heard of this.
Is it Monkey Man?
No. Monkey Man was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
All right, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my messed up brain, my entire life was 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. This is called Solar.
Oh.
Huh. Yeah. I've never heard of it till now. At number 7 this week, the true story of brothers who made history in an intensely competitive world of, I don't want to call it
Aquaman 2. Underwater street fighting.
I didn't say two brothers. I said brothers.
No, there was more to this sentence of
a, I don't want to call it a sport per se, but
is it a boxing?
No.
No, that's a sport for sure.
Less sport than boxing.
Tennis?
No, less sport than tennis too. Those are actually
because there was that tennis movie was in there just
Challengers. But no, this stars Zac Efron.
Is this the Iron Claw?
Iron Claw.
I still haven't seen this. I need to watch this.
I like that Efron.
Little baby Willy Wonka too.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but Moon and Jude did, and they said it was very good. So.
I really like him, but recently I saw him in a trailer, and he's gotten facial work.
Oh.
Like his lips looked like a 6-year-old woman who got Botox every week. I don't know. It bummed me out. Like, you're a handsome guy, man.
Yeah, I'm disliking that so many Hollywood people that so many actors and actresses hit like 35 and now start to look really plastic.
Yeah, it's interesting because the body image issues kind of show themselves when people end up doing that, and that's that's what I chalk it up to. He's always been incredibly fit, and I'm sure aging has not been easy.
Sure.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure on them, but some people age well, and I bet he does. It's like, why?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd like to see some people that look old in movies once in a while, just once in a while.
Or like imagine if somebody like John C. Reilly like decided to change his face because he's got a weird kind of ugly face. Like, it would take away so much of what he brings.
Absolutely. Yeah. At number 6 this week, a 1930s set story centered on the University of Washington's rowing team from their Depression-era beginnings.
Oh.
It was directed by
I think Denzel's in it.
George Clooney.
Stroke.
Turn.
Stroke.
Is it Stroke?
No. It's the
The
weird.
guy in the back. The guy in the back isn't doing anything.
It's called The Boys in the Boat. Weirdest sequel to Boys in the Hood ever.
Or the boys from Brazil.
Yeah.
Why is that interesting? Why was there a tale to tell?
Yeah. Why did George Clooney decide that a rowing team from the 30s needed to be a movie?
Weren't they a black rowing team?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, well, that would make it significant, but
No, those are white guys on the
okay.
poster.
I think they worked out. It started in Britain, in Oxford or something, It's
I was thinking like
polo.
what was where they were flying planes in World War II?
Oh, the Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh,
That one.
Birds, red wings,
The-
Red tails.
red
I think.
tails.
yeah.
Red tails.
Yeah, they were a badass squadron that got no. But the rowing.
I was
team?
confusing red tails with the boys in the boat.
Sure.
My bad.
It's like, remember when that rowing team beat the Nazis? How inspiring. It's like a movie about running. I know Chariots of Fire was, but it's just like he started somewhere and he got to the other place.
Do you remember when the Jamaican bobsled team beat Hitler?
See, now that's a movie right there.
At number 5 this week, after an amazing first date, Bea and Ben's fiery attraction turns ice cold until they find themselves unexpectedly reunited at a wedding in Australia. So they do what any two mature adults would do, pretend to be a couple. I watched this movie. It's a bad movie.
Is it Just Go With It, or?
No, but it's got one of those kind of titles.
Mm-hmm.
That's like,
Anyone But You.
Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell.
Oh,
Glenn Powell
yeah.
is charming as ever. Sydney Sweeney cannot act. She is a bad actress.
I found out something about her the other day, which changed my perspective on her quite a bit. She was the valedictorian of her high school.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
She doesn't seem like an idiot, but Bro's
she
right.
seems very
She's on the level as Dakota Johnson, which is going to be fun next week. But
yeah.
she seems like she's bored. She seems like she would be rather doing something else.
Yeah, I watched this movie and all of the like it's really trying to be like a classic like 90s. Well, more it's trying to be more of a 2000 style rom-com, but which is not the golden era of rom-coms. But it's not good.
How dare you? That's the Matthew McConaughey era of rom-com.
And the Adam Sandler, but
and
those were so
the
goofy.
J-Lo era of rom-coms.
Fair. That's
I
very
just
fair.
props to Al for guessing that. Al, you get a free video from me.
He's gonna help you tell your parents you passed the bar.
No, I'm going to say stupid shit that I know annoys him. I'm going to get things wrong and mispronounce it.
How long is this video going to be? You got a lot.
Yeah, it's up
We're
to you.
filming it right, or we're doing it right
I'll
now.
read you a book.
It's going to be like
It's
2
happening
hours.
right now.
Yeah.
I'll read you a book. You can't appreciate Notes from the Underground unless you read it in Dostoevsky's voice.
You can't appreciate Steal This book unless you read it in its original New York accent.
Howdy, Abby Hoffman.
That dude's accent, man.
Number 4 this week at the box office. A woman faces many hardships in her life. I want to leave it right there.
Kathy.
The movie.
But ultimately, the
biopath.
The rest of the sentence actually doesn't clear anything up, but ultimately finds extraordinary strength and hope in the unbreakable bonds of sisterhood. So vague. So very, very vague.
Traveling Pants 4.
No, this is a... Okay, so this is a film based on a musical, based on a film, based on a book.
Wicked?
No, but that's...
No, that's not out yet. But they're sisters.
So it was a book, then it was a movie, then it was a musical. Now this is a movie about the musical, about the movie about the book.
Is
Oh,
it
Mean Girls, yes.
Not Mean Girls. This was the original film was from the 80s, directed by Steven Spielberg.
E.T.
Oh, West Side Story? No.
This is...
Oh, this one's not directed by Spielberg.
Yeah, it was... The original movie was directed by Spielberg, and then they made a musical out of it, and then this movie is based on that musical.
Oh.
The Color Purple.
Oh, that's right.
God.
It's not a remake, but yeah, you're right.
It's not a remake. It's a movie of the musical of the movie of the book.
It's its own
Well, and
thing.
it's the story of like when she was happy a little bit before Danny Glover fought her. I mean, supposedly that's it.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
it's Miss Seeley and her sister. Anywho,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the original in so long.
Oof.
but the musical aspect is very weird.
Yeah.
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 But also there's a Mean Girls musical, which is insane.
And that makes sense.
I've got
a high school's a ripe setting, but like antebellum slavery,
Yeah.
like We're still in chains. We got some chains.
Our big joke thing was the musical version of Moby Dick, which seems less and less like a joke as time goes on.
It's funny you say that. I agree. Yeah.
I mean,
it felt innovative at its time, and now I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah.
If not Moby Dick, but something with that
chimpanzee
seriousness.
to chimpanzee is going to happen in our lifetimes.
Yep.
Moby, I'm amazed.
Yeah. That was
a Beatles Moby Dick by
No, that was the song.
Like
Moby, I'm amazed at the
Moby, I'm amazed at the way you swim the sea. Al was Moby, and he fucking crushed it.
He had a whale costume. It was great.
I made it
But the way you moved and danced, I don't know.
Well, and
I can't say it was whale-like, but it was different than everybody else.
His song, based on Tommy, ever since I was a young whale, I swam the silver seas.
I talked to dolphins.
Yeah.
Went just
Is that from the perspective of the whale?
Kinda, yeah. But that salty dog Ahab sure plays a mean hardball.
And the very end musical number was Moby, I'm amazed. And then it turns into Hey Jude. Nah. And everyone on stage doing the nah. But instead of Hey Jude, it's Moby.
Well, and at the end, Moby's
Al,
like,
do you need a financier for this musical? Because I'll get bags of money for you.
Yeah.
Just don't ask where it comes from.
We could probably recreate what we did, but it should not be longer than what we did.
No, it was about 10 minutes long. No, in the end, we gave it a happy ending. In the end, the whale gives Moby his leg back, and they're friends.
Oh,
the whale gives Ahab.
Or Ahab.
He's like,
yeah, the whale gives Ahab his leg back.
What's that? Why, it's a leg. And then Al triumphantly.
The whole story has just been Moby Dick chasing Ahab. Like, you left this. Wait, you forgot your leg.
Exactly. And our friend Josh played Ahab, and it was hilarious. In the church scene, which is pivotal to the beginning, instead of saying amen, he said, thank you all. And then walked off. It was just so funny. In a giant cape.
And the big musical number in the middle was Ahab's Funky Dream, in which it was like a James Brown style rave up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we added a dream sequence.
And ended up with Gilligan. There's Ahab.
Oh, right, yeah. And Dead Queequeg, who was also
Starbucks and Stubbs.
Al was also Queequeg. You were the
Indian.
Maori face tattoo. Did you?
He had long hair.
Yeah. Oh, and we had the dancing girls in the back wearing the pirate hats.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just the four of us. Sidetrack.
This all just sounds like a hallucination to me.
It was great.
Until you involved other people.
Josh, Al, do either of you have a video of it? There's got to be one somewhere.
Yeah, I mean Al has it right now, but I have to transfer it, and I need to do it.
Yeah, I can't ditch it.
I've been so worried about it getting eaten and destroyed.
So at number 3 at the box office for December 23rd, 2023.
A coin for a whale? Why, that's a heck of a sale.
Oh, no, because that was anyone who catches that whale will get this silver coin.
Yeah.
Number 3 at the box office. A family of ducks tried to convince their overprotective father to go on the vacation of a lifetime.
Migration,
yeah. Number 2 this week. This is also a movie not based on a musical, but a movie musical based on a movie based on a book.
Oh, this was Wonka.
Oh, that was entertaining to watch, but I don't understand why they didn't explain how he went insane. You know, like I know he's a young, ambitious Wonka, so he's a little different, but Timothée Chalamet, at the end of that movie, it was like, I bet he's going to be a good, kind boss, and like,
but nope,
not set up traps to kill. Yeah,
not try to murder children. Yeah,
and not like I need a Grinch or Vader type explanation, but you left the movie thinking that, like, yeah, he's a good guy. He's got his shit together.
No, you know what? you know what happened? He got old, and that's all. That's all it takes.
I think that's it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Profits started to dip, so he needed to Elon Musk his way out of his financial situation.
Yeah.
Nobody was amazed by his creations anymore.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, psychopath, slave owning psychopath.
Yeah, absolutely. And opening at number 1 this week at the box office, Black Manta seeks revenge on Aquaman for his father's death. Wielding the Black Trident's power, he becomes a formidable foe. To defend Atlantis, Aquaman forges an alliance with his imprisoned brother. They must protect the kingdom. Is
Aquaman?
No, you're close. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Aquaman.
The Aquaman. They should have just called it Aquaman.
Aquaman's.
Aquaman.
Aquaman's.
It's an Aquamance.
It is.
It's not a bromance. It's an Aquamance.
It's an Aquaman's.
Uh,
If you don't breathe salt water, don't even talk to me.
And that is the box office top 10 for the week, which brings us to the character and comic book background. I feel, Al, is there anything new in this movie that we didn't talk about before, Al? Professor Weber?
Yeah. I'll get to that character in a little bit. First, I wanted to talk about something else. This won't be as fun as Kryptonite.
Does this have anything to do with a with a sketch comedy from the 90s?
No.
Okay.
Dude, I have to say, sorry, I go back sometimes and listen to the Kryptonite episode. That was wild. That was just wild. How surprised we all were. Anyways, that was fun.
It was a gem. But this time we are talking about orichalcum.
Ah, shit.
Are we?
We are. Orichalcum, that was a big plot point in this movie.
Yeah.
Historically, it was a metal mentioned several times in ancient Greek writings. The first time in a 7th century BC Homeric hymn by Hesiod. Again in the 5th century BC in the Critias of Plato in a story of Atlantis.
And what do you know if it was a word for that in general or? Never mind. Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
It is said to have been mined in several locations in Atlantis, and the interior of the Temple of Atlantis was said to be completely covered in orichalcum.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. Is if it was a word for metal in general, or
orichalcum in Greek translates literally to mountain copper.
This is what your cameo video is going to be like. Al.
So
the video I make.
And the interior of the temple was completely covered in orichalcum, much like a teenage boy's room is completely covered in something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So is it like bronze then?
Well, it has been theorized that orichalcum may have been platinum, pure copper, or certain alloys of bronze or brass, or a gold copper alloy.
That's interesting. So yeah, like a fancier metal brass. Huh.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Chuck.
The Roman transliteration, changing OR orichalcum to AUR orichalcum, also changed the meaning to gold copper.
Okay.
Whereas in this movie, it's the stuff that made the turtles into ninjas.
Numerous metal ingots discovered in a sunken vessel off Sicily in 2015 are hypothesized to have been orichalcum, as well as numerous more discovered in 2016. These ingots were primarily composed of copper and zinc and looked very much like gold in appearance.
I wish I was primarily composed of copper and zinc.
Well, and those, they're pliable, or you know what I mean? Easy to bang.
That's like, trumpet belt material and stuff.
Workable metal.
Easy to bang.
Workable metal.
Like a sorority girl at a party.
Yeah. Wearing a bunch of fake gold. Yeah.
And in the Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, orichalcum is a metal used to forge and improve orcish weaponry and armor.
Wow. I did not realize it was in Skyrim.
I was raised orcish, but I'm not practicing now.
You're lapsed.
All right, so Kordax is a name used in this movie. In the comics, first appeared in Atlantis Chronicles number 4, June of 1990. A semi-immortal ancestor of Aquaman who commands all sea life. Born to Queen Cora of Poseidonus, but abandoned at birth due to his grotesque green-scaled body.
You know,
Kordax.
I could command all sea life. They just don't listen.
They don't listen. Yeah, exactly. I could talk to animals. People talk to God, right?
Kordax survived in the ocean thanks to his mental control over sea creatures. As an adult, he returned to Atlantis, leading an army of sharks in a failed bid for the throne.
The jets stood in the way.
How does your shark food fail?
Because it was on land.
Their weapons were inferior.
His punishment included the loss of his left hand, which was replaced with a sword and banishment. And he was
That's
later
not a
killed.
Punishment.
Banishment?
A sword
No,
hand?
having a sword hand. Yeah, that's an upgrade.
Yeah. He was later killed by Aquaman. And that's it.
Well, thank you, Al. Short and sweet this week.
Yeah, nothing new.
Yeah.
Except
nothing.
those weird CGI creatures that had him prisoner. But DC loves their CGI creatures.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to look up those guys. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
They have one of the four kingdoms. They adapted to living on the surface after the Sahara dried out.
Yeah.
I think they said.
Yeah, they were
It was
deserters.
They
Yes.
were called.
They were a family of Skeletors. Is what they were.
And that's right. They adapted to being able to get the moisture from blood as opposed to water.
Yeah, and okay.
They are Das Vampire, the devil's concubine. Hey, I just want to say, how cool is it that Willem Dafoe once played Nosferatu and now he's playing Van Helsing?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. Yeah,
That is
but anyway.
cool. That dude has range.
Oh fuck yeah!
I missed him in this movie.
Yes.
He was a bright spot in the last movie.
Yeah.
I think he brightens up anything. His goofy Norman in the last Spider-Man,
I just
he
think
totally flipped the script.
I just think of him as Klaus from Life Aquatic. I went
Oh,
back
he's
and watched
fantastic.
parts of Aquaman 1 in preparation for watching this movie, and he was just, like I said, bright spots in the first movie.
Aquaman and
He
the
used
Life
to be
Aquatic.
just- He used to be
If I
cast
see you
always
first,
as
Sonny.
creepy and sinister guys. I'm glad that he's kept working and they've let him do other things.
Yeah.
Well, and
Like people
also
give Bill
Jesus
Murray credit
Christ,
for range.
you
He
know?
doesn't have range, but yeah, he was Jesus Christ. That's right.
Yeah, it was.
Now he's Willem Defriend.
So Aquaman came out in 2018. It is the it was the most successful DC EU movie, period.
Oh my. Really?
Wow.
It made like 1.2 billion. Yeah.
Wow. I thought Flash was better.
Momoa.
Yeah. It
Yeah, he's a draw.
And of course, so they immediately planned the sequel. This was directed by James Wan again, with a story by credit for James Wan. Also,
We forget how much the nerdy fanboys want the same thing repeated. You know what I mean? Like, they complain so much when anything is changed, and I don't mean gender or race, but like, it seems like they just want the same thing over and over.
yeah.
The trolls.
So this also has a screenplay credit for David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick.
Is that one person?
That is one person. One dude.
Huh.
And he's not like a junior or a third. Like, that sounds like it would be a family name.
He also wrote the first one, and I'm sure we mentioned this then, but he did he did Orphan, The Conjuring 2, Wrath of the Titans.
Those first two are all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, James Wan. Yes, of course.
He was a staff writer on The Walking Dead. So
he got his start through Blumhouse, right? Like, that was.
Oh, James Wan?
Yeah.
Yeah, James Wan definitely was in horror. Was it probably Blumhouse? Yeah. Oh, Saw. He fucking directed Saw, like the first one.
That's right.
Okay. My chief complaint about that movie is, why not use the hacksaw to pull the phone closer to you?
Oh. Why not do any number of things which are possible to do in that?
Certainly that, but like, it's with, I don't know. I was like, I really would have considered more options.
Yeah, but no, James Wan.
It's a good movie though.
Yeah, was very much a horror dude. Saw, Dead Silence, Insidious, The Conjuring.
Those are some decent modern horror movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the Conjuring. I mean, ghosts are so boring, but he made that very interesting.
We also have a story by credit for Jason Momoa. So what happened is
Vanity.
Is after the first movie, Jason Momoa pitched a story to Warner Brothers because he's like, I'm Aquaman, I'm gonna do that. It was a 50-page treatment for a sequel. Warner Brothers bought it. He got $15 million for his 50-page story treatment.
Jesus Christ.
I would have written I'll write a 100-page story treatment for half the price, Warner. Like, come on.
I'll do it for $25. I bet that was an easy elevator pitch. So my idea is the first movie.
Well, it's unclear how much of that got into this, because this is that wasn't a full script, and there's definitely was a lot of work done afterwards, and even after they started filming.
I'm sure he had some interesting ideas that got shot down.
Yeah. James Wan, of course, came in with his own pitch. He wanted to really build out the world of Aquaman. He compared it to Middle Earth, the Star Wars galaxy, and the Harry Potter wizarding world.
Star Wars, very much so. Going to weird... There's even a cantina scene where they're in a bar. There's a sexy alien chick singing, and then this big, like, boss.
Yeah.
It's so much remote. Like, he seemed like Boss Nass from, Naboo, whatever that
was.
It was
very Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Kind of very.
It's just Star Wars. Like, Palace. Okay, we're at this place right now. Now we got to go to this. Yeah, but I felt like he ripped a lot from Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. He also envisioned it as a world as big as those, with as many story possibilities.
That's hilarious. Under the ocean.
He wanted to make a horror spin-off called The Trench.
Nice. That would have been fun.
Yeah, it was going to have a smaller budget and not feature any of the main cast of Aquaman. But of course, Warner Brothers is like, cool, but also let's just make Aquaman 2 right now, guys.
Right. Star power is literally all we have.
Yeah. James Wan was actively working on The Trench, and Warner Brothers kind of had to corral him back into making an Aquaman 2 movie. They originally scheduled Aquaman 2 for release end of 2022. This was in 2019. And they started working on that, but then of course, 2020 and all that stuff. So another thing that happened in the meantime was Amber Heard and Johnny Depp had a little misunderstanding.
Yeah. And she totally came off as an intelligent, reasonable person.
They both did, I think.
I'm sorry, but Johnny seemed very real.
Comparatively, sure, she came off way worse.
I'm sure they fought, and I'm sure they broke shit, and but shitting in a bed, that's another level, man.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think beyond all the intricacies of their court case, just having the focus on one of the actors around your movie and not being able to talk about that shit is not good.
Yeah. Or even understand what the problem is. You know what I mean? Because it was a media circus. But really, it was between a couple.
Yeah, there's no way.
It happens every single day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So apparently she was close to being fired from the sequel altogether, but her ex-boyfriend, who she remained close to, Elon Musk, personally went to Warner Brothers and threatened them if they didn't keep her in the movie.
I had no idea she was ever with Musk.
That fucking douchebag leaked their like sex role play pictures onto Twitter. Leaked. He just posted them onto Twitter.
Yeah, they're not really leaked if you just post them yourself.
Yeah, he of her dressed up
piece of shit
as I think it was DVA from Overwatch for their sex game because he wanted her to dress up as the video game character.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah, it's fine to do that.
Nobody deserved.
It's fine to do that, but like you can't just post that shit without their permission. Like fuck you.
Yeah, you have no respect for that woman.
Yeah. So anyways,
fuck that guy's so hardcore.
Yeah.
I want to beat him with a fucking emerald. Wasn't that where his family was? It jade or
emerald?
It was an emerald mine.
They were emerald miners in apartheid South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to shove one down his mouth, please, jokes.
Yeah. So
that's not a threat for the NSA guy who monitors me.
Yeah. So she's in the long run, she's in 3 scenes in the movie. They cut her way back. She was the co-lead of the first film.
You could almost believe that they. Go ahead.
Arguably, she should have been the co-lead of this movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was. That's a weird cancel type thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people don't even understand their own opinion of it. We got to watch the trial, but there were no monsters in the room. It was a married couple airing their laundry. So I just don't get it. Like, why can't she be the lead in a movie?
Mm. Yeah.
Because her divorce proceedings went weird?
Well, because the fan base, it was probably decided that the fan base was largely not on her side.
That's absolutely right.
That's what it came down to.
The internet was very much outspoken on their opinions of things in one direction or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Studios heed the words of trolls way too much.
I think
Rotten Tomatoes
is pretty heavy.
The fucking internet trolls are
the fans.
Are the ones that gave us episode 9. So so
but you could almost believe she was CGI'd in this. She's in it so few and she barely speaks. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they just imposed her face or something.
Yeah,
like did a Crispin Glover on her.
Yeah,
I think that might be the case in a couple of scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. She did very little work in this film. Jason Momoa's big contribution to it story-wise is that he insisted that it have a environmental message. I mean, good on him.
That makes sense.
But it also
Aquaman always should.
But it also.
But did it?
It was kind of like, oh, it's not the oil, it's the orichalcum.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's not really a environmental message.
Yeah, he didn't get into it. I think it's one line or something about the pollution or about but yeah.
So this.
But I mean, I always thought. Sorry, I keep doing that, but I always saw Aquaman. That they called him the protector of the ocean. So I always saw the pollution element. Not just I saw it; they illustrated it. That keeping the oceans clean, protecting the oceans and ecosystem. It's on brand, but you're right; they didn't lean into that at all.
Yeah. It felt real tacked on and real blunt force as far as like what they actually said.
Like, it's why Namor hates us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about the ocean and we fuck it over just like the land.
The ocean, we pee in that thing. We've been peeing in it since we got up on two legs,
Yeah. We, raw sewage flows into it.
Yeah.
They began filming in June of 2021, 2.5 years before it was released. It underwent massive number of reshoots, all the way through. When was the final reshoots? Final reshoots went all the way through into April 2023.
Jesus Christ! And this is the end product.
Well,
you're not making The Godfather.
So reshoots went on so long that originally they were going to be introducing Michael Keaton's Batman in this
All right.
in a cameo.
Really?
Yep. And Michael Keaton shot a scene with Jason Momoa as Batman. But then reshoots dragged on so long that instead they introduced him in The Flash. So they cut those and had those scenes reshot with Ben Affleck as Batman. And then when they decided to reboot the DC universe and give it to James Gunn, they decided to just cut those out altogether. So Jason Momoa shot scenes with two different Batmen, and none of them made it into the movie.
That's a bummer for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very cynical about this movie.
Yeah.
But, he's not far from our age, Yeah, I don't know. That would be a big deal, an honor.
By all accounts, he was really excited about working with Michael Keaton. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Yeah, like that's what I meant about the generation thing. Like that would blow my mind to meet Keaton as Batman, let alone work with him.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was disappointed.
It's basically the entire first cast is back. No one really knew other than Randall Park playing. It appears he's playing Randall Park. As far as I can tell.
Right. The agent, what is it? Wu or from MCU.
Yeah. Randall Park just showed up. Like really, if they'd been like, hi, I'm actor Randall Park, and I don't know how I ended up with Black Mantis, but here I am. It would have felt the same.
And he was actually in the first movie too.
Was he?
Yeah. He was he was in the first movie.
I didn't
even
remember that. Oh my God. So he's not even.
But yeah, it is funny. It's like when we watched Blue Beetle recently, like Hervé, I can't remember his last name, Guillermo.
Yeah.
Like talented, funny, could bring a lot to it.
Nothing
just
to
the
do.
most vanilla rote lines ever.
Yeah. Just of note, Martin Short voiced Kingfish.
Yeah.
Oh,
couldn't tell.
Nice.
He did.
Yep. But yeah, it's like the same exact cast, basically. I don't know. Jonathan Rhys Davis back as the Brine King, which you can tell. You can really tell. He's doing his Gimli voice, basically.
Yeah.
Topo is the only new character, I feel like.
Well, Kordax.
Kordax, sure. But Kordax.
Well, was Topo voiced by Tilda Swinton?
Kordax sounds like a commercial medication.
Or like an explosive.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah.
Like a 1940s like trademarked explosive brand name.
And to have a non-verbal animal short round, it's just lame. Like the octopus could have been there, but that was the buddy film for a few minutes, him and an octopus. I don't know.
It's a real shame this
Bizarre.
movie didn't end with him playing drums triumphantly.
Yeah.
That's my out tag. God damn it.
Sorry. So I don't know. There's not much else to say about this movie. That's as far as the background goes. There's no new cast to go into.
I still don't think it's a sequel. I think it's to be continued. I think it's a part. I know a sequel is a part 2, but a direct.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has 65% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's critic score. 72% audience score. It is technically fresh. That's right at the edge there. If that metric is really important to anybody. And I do have some Letterboxd reviews. Letterboxd user Zachary J. Sloan writes, "If I could write a movie, it would be this one."
Don't sell yourself short, dude.
Right? Like, there's so much about that I don't understand.
Yeah. My 10-year-old niece could write it.
The Letterboxd user DC Fan 34 writes, "Sadly, this is the last DCEU movie, but it's another great one. The DCEU didn't miss one time. Good game, Marvel, but DC won."
Nice try, marketing department.
Woo. Buddy, that is perhaps...
Yeah, imagine being pleased with all of it.
Yeah,
not just Aquaman, all of it.
The entire thing.
From Green Lantern.
And considering our new feature, airplane reviews, user Graham G writes, "Not even fun to watch on an airplane. Half a star." Every week I'm going to try
an airplane.
Yeah. Every week I'm going to try to find something on Letterboxd about airplanes.
Yeah. Reviewing anything that happens on an airplane, you have no control.
Yeah, anything that happens on an airplane happens in an entirely different world. There's no point reviewing it.
Yeah, you're at the mercy. So why review?
So, yeah, all right. Then we're ready to jump into it, guys.
Dive.
Yo ho, yo ho.
This
Topo.
Dive. Aquaman, Das Boot. Those Germans were not fucking around. They're Russians, right?
Yeah. Here we go. This is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. We open on a pirate attack on a shipping vessel. Then Aquaman saves them riding a giant glowing seahorse. We get a voiceover from Arthur about how it's been 4 years after becoming king of Atlantis. He drinks some pee, and then he tells us he got married and had a kid.
I do love the action figure fight and narrate.
Yeah, that was
to the little
awesome.
kid.
Yeah, it was cute.
I think it's time to make it rule that you cannot use Norman Greenbaum's spear in the sky.
Oh my God. Yeah, so was this movie scored by like somebody who only ever watches The Big Chill?
Yeah, there's that. But just that song has been in so many kinds of movies. Needle drops for all kinds of scenes.
No, I
think we need to be done with.
I was frankly very confused by it because the one thing this movie isn't about is the sky.
For God, or
Yeah, it's about water.
Right. If you're an Atlantean and you die, you wouldn't go to the Christian heaven, right? You'd stay in an underwater paradise.
Yeah, they don't have.
Does anyone care about the rules? Am I the only one?
There's no water Jesus, as far as I know.
Yeah,
No, he hated water. He turned that shit to booze.
that song being in this movie just said a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's the laziest possible.
Overused.
It's the laziest needle drop ever. The only thing that could possibly be lazier is all along the watchtower with a helicopter.
That's true. Norman Green, it must be inexpensive to get the rights.
Yeah, Norman Greenbaum's like, everybody use it. Take it. Do it.
Take it. But yeah, it's been in comedies. It's been in horror movies.
Yeah, no, I am sick to death of that. Yeah, no, Spirit in the Sky and Born to Be Wild, we got a bunch of.
Born to Be Wild.
You know, there's music made after 1969, right, guys?
Yeah. Some Eagles of Death Metal would go well with it.
Like, yeah. There's like, if he's gonna be like a badass on a motorcycle, Born to Be Wild, really?
I know. There's so many better songs with like guitar chunky rip. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Born to Be Wild is boring.
Boring so boring.
It's like Louis Louis, you know.
Oh my god, yeah. Or Wild Thing.
Right. Oh yes, or Wild Thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, he's got a kid now. He gets pee in his mouth. He doesn't like being king because
Does anybody agree with me? Like, wouldn't it be fun to see him or as Aqualad, like as a top, like 5, 6, 7 years old, following his dad around? I feel like they could have explored his fatherhood more than a newborn.
Yeah.
Everybody reacts to a newborn the same way. You know, you don't get a blueprint. You get peed on, you get off. I don't know. It would have been fun if he was teaching his son.
Yeah.
How to swim.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been more than his son just being like a single joke and then the MacGuffin for him to.
And the fish thing was interesting. How he discovers he's talking to the fish in the aquarium.
Yeah.
Then all you had to do was just cut. You didn't even have to tell about a time jump, really. Anyways, not important.
So yeah, he doesn't like being king because it's a bunch of boring meetings that could have been Zooms.
This could have been an email.
Yeah. Zooms that could have been emails that could have been a text. Then there's a council that tells him, no, don't do that. He doesn't like bureaucracy. He wants to go punch things to being good. And then after the opening montage, he talks to his dad about how hard life is and how much they love the smooth, dark taste of Guinness beer.
Do we get motorcycle donut yet, or is that?
Yeah, that happens. We get motorcycle donuts multiple times.
Yeah, there's like a montage.
Yeah. To Born to Be Wild.
Yeah.
And their dynamic is just as cool as the first one.
Yeah.
You know, great casting for his dad, and his dad has a very real.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
He is as an actor, but that character has a very grounded. Like, I slept with a mermaid. but life goes on. I gotta light this motherfucking lighthouse.
He slept with a mermaid. His DNA was used for the Grand Army of the Republic. He's had a life.
But think about, especially in DC, but some Marvel, where there was a father or maternal figure that was like, got to be good. You've got to do this or that. His dad is like, you're Aquaman.
Kevin Costner, a Man of Steel.
Oh, Superman every time. But this guy's like, you're Aquaman. Dude, follow your heart.
I think it's interesting that it's a couple of Pacific Islander dudes in Maine drinking Irish beer.
I love it.
Man,
yeah, it's a Maori guy and a Hawaiian guy.
Colonization.
In Maine.
I'm sure people in India still wonder why they drink vodka tonic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a dope gig for a guy from New Zealand, though, to be in Maine and run a lighthouse.
Yeah. Although, I don't know. I wouldn't dig the weather personally, but that's just me.
I got the impression he was maybe a Marine
Samira Morse
or
in
naval.
Annihilation.
Yes. Yeah. I get the feeling that maybe before he was a lighthouse keeper, he might have been in some form of military or Navy where he sailed the world.
Merchant Marine,
But that's an awesome gig. If I was single and offered to run and live in a lighthouse, fucking instantly.
All right. So then after the opening montage, we get a title card. Then we cut to Antarctica. Black Manta is still mad at Aquaman about killing his dad. He's working with marine biologist Randall Park to find Atlantean artifacts.
Heck. They love to say tech.
Tech, yeah, the tech. They accidentally open up a big cavern down in the ice. They go down, explore it, and they have to go under the water. They get attacked by Doc Ock, it seems like.
Yeah.
Then Manta finds a black trident in two pieces. He puts it together, and then old water ghosts talk to his brain.
Right? He just finds it, just simply finds it in the first act.
Mm.
Doesn't have to do anything. Like, glad I fell in that crevasse.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, they do explain in this scene that like all this stuff is opening up because of global warming.
Yes.
Yes, he does say that. Yeah.
Yes.
Black Manta praises global warming.
Because he's evil.
But even in the last movie we did, The Marvels, like at least there were a few short scenes of the villain searching for the artifact she wants. I know that that's what they're doing, but we didn't see him. He fell into it. It's just bad storytelling.
Yeah. We get a title card, says it's 5 months later. We the TV news people say global warming's bad, and then Arthur gets called to the council. There's been more plague outbreaks all over the ocean. The council wants to go to war with the surface, but Arthur wants to reveal their existence to the surface. Then him and his dad talk again over a cool, smooth Irish Guinness.
His dads, both of them, are the best casting in any of these movies. Like, isn't that Dolph, right? Mm-hmm. No, who is the Dolph Lundgren?
That's Amber Heard's dad. That's the other.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right, because he married in. But do you know what I mean? Like, Dolph brought something, and Tamira definitely brought something.
Dolph weirdly, his accent's gotten weird these days. He kind of sounded like what's his face? From Guardians, and Walking Dead. Shit.
Oh, Michael Rooker?
Michael Rooker. Yeah. He sounded like Michael Rooker to me. Weirdly.
He has like a genius IQ.
Yeah. Yeah. Like physics.
Yeah. He's like chemistry.
Chemistry.
And
but just even on a general, like, Briggs-Meyer or Mensa type test. Like, he has genius level. Yeah. It's just interesting that he always seemed like a dumber version of Arnold.
Yeah, but he's not. He's a much smarter version of Arnold, actually.
Yeah, he's like, I'm that smart. I'm going to focus on my body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he focused less on language skills and more on science, it seems. Yeah. Arnold focused on the social side of, his personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's interesting.
No, I cannot. It's hard for me to believe at this point that Arnold's accent is still really that thick.
Yeah, that is that.
It's not on purpose. Like, he's not doing Arnold a little bit.
Well, I just think he never tried to change it. He got famous real quick. Why change?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was part of his. But is it just me, or has Nicole Kidman's voice in general sound like she eats glass?
Yeah.
Does anybody notice that? Even in other movies, like it's really gruff, and I don't know. Maybe she's a smoker, but.
It's gotten real gruff, and speaking of plastic surgery, she's gotten some real fucking work done.
Oh, of course. But yeah, there's just a raspiness I didn't notice. She used to be soft-spoken with the lilt.
Yeah, she did.
Now she's like, I got my own security business.
So then, meanwhile, somewhere in the Atlantic, Manta has a sub that he found in the ruins of the bad guys. He breaks into an orichalcum reserve on Atlantis to steal them to power his machines. They get caught partway through. There's a big set piece. They get chased by Atlantean forces. Amber Heard has to go to sleep for a while because she gets injured. And then Arthur finds that Black Mantis is back. He's ringing the bell. He's rocking on the mic while the Fly Girls yell. But he lets Black Manta get away because he has to save a sea train. an underwater train on rails. Seems unnecessary to me, considering you can move in 3 dimensions underwater smoothly. Josh is muted.
I think it's
How
interesting.
do you keep something on a track in zero gravity?
Use buoyancy to your advantage. I could see buoyancy pulling something forward. Like,
yeah, but
that makes
concept.
No.
And it's not weightless. I shouldn't say that.
And underwater vest like thing, but it's literally on rails.
Yeah,
and then
I could see the rails being to your advantage, though. I could see that with the buoyancy thing. You could pull something forward.
It just seems to me they live in 3 dimensions. It's weird. The submarine.
That's what I was going to say. Like, in a pragmatic way, we could make sense of it, but why not come up with an original device? Like they have their own kind of monorail or their own kind of mass transit. Yeah. They're like they went to the surface and they're like, I like this one directional vessel.
Yeah, you know what you could use underwater? A submarine, a big long submarine with many cars that can go.
Or pneumatic tubes.
They don't need to be pressurized because they don't need to have air inside them. Also,
yeah.
Right, but like a pneumatic tube that got the Ghostbusters to Scotland, just real fast.
Where's the pneumatic tube system?
Johnny Pneumatic.
After the heist, Arthur has a meeting with his mom and Dolph Lundgren. He learns that orichalcum is bad and makes the world hot. And it's causing extreme weather and ocean acidification. And also almost caused everything to go extinct in the past when it was used by an ancient Atlantean kingdom. Arthur decides he personally has to go find Manta, even though the council is not for that.
Little Aegon Targaryen, or what was it, Aemon Targaryen action?
Yeah.
I'll go into battle myself.
Arthur decides he needs the help of Orm, the Ocean Master, his brother who he defeated in the first movie. His
right arm man.
Oh, bada bing. He's going to break him out of prison that's in the desert because ocean people hate deserts. He brings Topo the octopus with him.
This movie changes just its entire vibe immediately the moment he's like, that's right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go get my brother.
Yeah. And then
never returns to the first movie.
No, and Spirit in the Sky starts playing. And then it's like, it's adventure time, guys.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be a gag, but she's like, I chose a cephalopod. That's an octopus. You're the king of the seas, and you don't know that that's the genus that they're in.
Yeah.
That's what cephalopods
He's like, dude, I ride motorcycles and kick ass. I don't know about
exactly. I don't learn shit. Like, no, that's a tuna. Hell no, it's not.
That's a tuna from me. So he's got his invisibility suit. And again, it's all to Spirit in the Sky for some reason. The prison is guarded by a bunch of Skeletors, so he breaks his half-brother Orm out of prison. There's a long sequence with a bunch of CGI monsters and a bunch of CGI Skeletor fighting. Orm gets to the ocean, and that makes him jacked.
We get the Attack of the Clones creatures that Obi-Wan rides.
Yeah, that's exactly what those were. Meanwhile,
or Revenge of the Sith, one of those prequel monsters. It's very prequel era, mummy era looking.
The whole thing is very that era of CGI monster. Yeah.
It's like they got the water people to do this desert stuff. Like the visual, they're like, oh, we specialize in water. We're like, well, we're going to do a desert part. Can you do that too? They're like, sure.
Like we guess sand is just dry water, right?
Yeah,
we specialize in water.
Well, no, there are like visual.
I don't know shit about the land, and I don't want to know.
Houses that do that.
I know
like
there are
effects houses, but
but there are animators that just do hair. There are animators, but it's just fun.
But because of that, it just looks like the Scorpion King at moments.
Yeah.
Not as bad as the Scorpion King, but the sand is just like,
Yeah. No, it's.
I agree.
Then Black Manta and Randall Park are doing bad guy stuff. They're making bad guy machines. Randall Parks is having second thoughts.
Randall Park is just hesitant throughout the whole thing. He just loves science, man.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of torturing and violence.
I mean, just a touch. But yeah, he knows global warming's bad, so he's a little hesitant about it. We also learn they're in a scary jungle with monsters.
It's also hard to get random people to get on board with your vengeance. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you're not doing this for science sake. You want to kill the guy who killed your dad.
Which, like, I get, but
from a scientist's point of view, that is not interesting. Yeah, I am not invested.
Yeah, that doesn't further the research.
Right. Yeah, sometimes in movies, it's like this artifact is potentially dangerous, but it could also answer so many questions. There wasn't even that.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to find the two parts of the trident. They were both laying in the same place.
Yeah, they were right next to each other.
It's just
I mean, honestly,
lazy.
I'm glad that they were right next to each other because I couldn't do more of this movie.
So
I was thinking instead of other things, not more. Yeah. This does not need a second more.
So Orm and Arthur visit a pirate city called the Sunken Citadel. They meet Kingfish to figure out where Manta is. Kingfish doesn't like them, and he's going to have them killed. But then Arthur and Orm beat up his guys.
What kind of creature is Kingfish besides Kingfish?
Yeah, he's an underwater creature.
He's a fish.
He seemed like a Star Wars alien.
Yes, there's a lot of like, fish men, fish people.
If the people under the water are mutating that much, why are the people on the surface not mutating that much?
Why don't we have wolf
I think
people
it's a
and bird
species.
people?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they're different species is what they were trying to tell us, not that they were normal Atlanteans. Or did they say that? They were normal Atlanteans and
in the first
mutated?
movie. Willem Dafoe describes it as the city sank and then we were able to use our same technology to develop the ability to breathe underwater, and certain tribes evolved. That's why I went back and watched it. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, so the fish people were
weird.
originally Atlanteans, and now they're fish people.
More fish-like?
Yeah.
It's a great, now that I think of it that way, it's a great question, Brian. Like, what's the evolutionary advantage? And,
what the fuck is in the water?
Why did their humanoid features completely change, even though they could process water and breathe? Yeah. I think they wanted to create, like, we have too many human Atlanteans interacting. We need to mix in.
We need some fish.
Again, I'll go to Star Wars. All I thought was Star Wars. Bar, band playing, alien, sexy woman that's not sexy, but
the weird like genetic thing. This movie's all about killing the last of the bloodline. You know,
that's true.
So he's like, I need their blood. A, I need their blood. B, I'm going to take their bloodline and end it. So he's going to kill Aquaman and other Aquaman and Aquaman Jr. and probably a couple of other people. Just
mantises or the fish.
Manta, black mantis.
Manta.
Like I'm going to kill.
Mantis.
I'm going to end his family line. But he needs the blood to do the thing with the orichalcum bad guy Kordax.
Are we sure?
It's interesting. What?
Are we sure that all the underwater civilizations are descended from Atlanteans?
That's what I was saying. I don't think they. I don't think they are.
But in the first one, they talk about evolving and changing to not be beyond just breathing underwater.
So if they are using Plato's parable of Atlantis, that it was a human civilization that sunk. He never talked about fish people, but so that makes sense. They sunk as humans and they adapted. But I'm with that. I'm with Al. I don't necessarily think every sentient creature,
like there's the whole shark species,
right?
That king shark came from.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think like Kingfish and the singer in the bar, they're like a completely different species, not descended from.
Are they the
That's what I
result
think.
of genetic manipulation by the Atlanteans themselves? Are they like freaks?
I
that
see
they
them
just
as
kinda let out of
independent.
the creation, or did they just evolve on their own?
I think it's like on Earth, different societies developed at the same time, and eventually they connected and had a sort of homogeny. But
wait. So
I think they were just.
So the Atlanteans didn't kill off their Neanderthal coexisting species.
They just started having sex with them.
Yes, but I was avoiding taking it that far back. I mean, I think they're just another species, because, or else we have to come up with a reason why this evolutionary line deviated. The Atlanteans evolved to exist underwater, but what stopped them from adapting these? I'm sorry to be thinking so much about Aquaman.
Yeah,
we're definitely thinking about it more than Randall Park, scientist.
I think it was merely to have them in a different setting and to introduce different looking. The first one was very humanoid. Even the villain, Black Manta, just a dude in a suit. So I think they wanted to try to create a universe, and
they needed a Star Wars element.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
We definitely have talked about it more than anybody at Warner Brothers did in the making of this.
I just want to tell our listeners, I don't really talk to other people during the week. This is the one time I get to socialize with people whose opinions I value. But I digress.
So yeah, they the Kingfish tells them that they're on a island in the South Pacific called Devil's Deep.
Okay, I have a unanswered question that pertains to this. He puts on that helmet, and so what is the helmet supposed to do? Because he has to have water, but there's water filling into it.
No, there's water draining. He's draining the water out of the helmet.
Oh, the water's coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because I figured that's what was happening, but I couldn't. Okay, thank you. Answered question. It's like last week where I'm like, they all moved to Louisiana. they weren't helping them move.
Watching this movie and the first movie, the continuity of is there water in that vehicle is really hard to follow from time to time.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, did they just open a window to the water? Did they depressurize after they opened the window?
But
what's happening?
But also, like, when they're in vehicles, their hair isn't necessarily floating around either. So it's like,
but sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is, but not always.
I mean, after centuries, we really haven't come up with a foolproof way to keep water from getting it. You just can't stop water. No. So yeah, the vehicles.
You can't.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This fucking movie. So the fish lady sings, and then we cut back to Manta.
It ain't over till the fish lady sings.
Manta's talking to Sauron in a mirror, I guess. And then
a really gassy Sauron.
Yes.
He's like, I'm sorry, I had a lot of cheese before we had the Zoom call. I don't know if you could see it, but those stink lines, they had to draw them in.
We had Indian food last night.
Yeah, this is the first character that I can think of that has stink lines. Like Spider-Man has the little like Spidey sense. This guy smells like sulfur, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can see it, I guess.
You can see the stink because he's Stinky Sauron. And then Randall Parks thinks he's crazy. Then Arthur and Orm arrive at Devil's Deep. They make their way through the jungle, which has big bugs, big monsters.
Big bugs. Big bugs.
That we're talking like Florida-sized bugs.
Yeah.
Almost,
no joke.
Almost as big as Florida.
Arthur gets Orm to eat a cockroach.
He does. Because they're talking about surface food.
And we later see he enjoys it.
Yes. I
thought that was a somewhat poignant because Orm is criticizing surface food.
Yeah.
And Arthur's just like, you need to explore, you need to expand your mind kind of thing. Like you're letting your prejudice get in the way. Branch out.
Yep.
Learn about the world.
Sure.
Totally.
So they get to Manta's bad guy hideout and they sneak into the control room. Randall Park finds them, asks them to take him with them. They get discovered. There's a big fight. Orm gets the Black Trident at one point, and it shows him the bad guy plans through brain visions.
I also really loved earlier when Orm learns how to run on land for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what to do with my arms.
He's doing a Naruto run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
They did a great job. Of
like a newborn puppy.
Return to water guy moment.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson was the best part of the movie, I think, personally.
I like him in anything.
Yeah.
I like that actor. His season of Fargo. Oh my God. Amazing.
Wow. I didn't realize he had a season of Fargo. I need to do it. I think the big takeaway for me from this movie was that he would have made an incredible Aquaman.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
With the like fish out of water kind of camp. He does a really good job with that.
And he would have been if they'd wanted to go for the classic blonde Aquaman.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think
Snyder, but we kind of got it. We kind of got that also in him.
Yeah. I think Snyder wanted to prove that he was progressive and edgy. And, like, this ain't your grandfather's Aquaman. that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
that guy wrote dolphins like a weirdo.
This is an Aquaman where Icelandic ladies will sing hymns at him for 5 fucking minutes in the middle of the movie for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, happened in the first one too. Weird.
Those hymns aren't going to sing themselves, man. He needs a
These Icelandic ladies singing hymns and holding like his really rough coarse knit sweater.
You know what, though? If it were 2005, it would have been Linkin Park. So be grateful.
I mean, Zack Snyder did try so hard. He got so far, but in the end...
he did it all for the Nookie, which is what the problem is.
He got those bands mixed up.
Yeah. He thought he was making Linkin Park movies, but really he was making Limp Bizkit movies.
Wow. That is now a qualifier. Is this a Linkin Park thing or is this a Limp Bizkit thing?
I saw a thumbnail.
It's a fine line.
Divided into 2 categories.
I saw a thumbnail for a YouTube video of a very young-looking kid, but he's like, "Let's explore the Lincolnverse," and it's like Spielberg's Lincoln versus vampires versus. I was like, "There is a Lincolnverse, and that's weird."
It really is weird. There's been a lot of Lincoln stuff. Yeah.
It's like the Chicagoverse. We have all the Chicago.
I mean, Bill and Ted is in that.
Yeah, sure.
Lincoln did some shit. He fought vampires. He traveled in time. Like,
Emancipated.
Yeah, saw that one play. At least half of it.
He invented Marfan's syndrome. Makes you incredibly tall and sad.
Manta then he's about to kill Orm, and when Dolph Lundgren arrives with missiles and they start shooting missiles.
I hate it when this happens in a movie underwater, when they're like, let's use all our underwater missiles all at once.
Yeah. And
I don't know. It's just weird. It's Star Wars. Why is this Star Wars?
It is, but it's not like really great Star Wars. It's like prequel Star Wars, kind of.
Yeah, no, it's a kid who liked Star Wars and was like, I think I can do that.
But underwater.
Maybe not even I think I can do it better, but like, yeah, I can do that. It's not an homage and it's not a ripoff, but it's unavoidable to see the Star Wars in this.
Yeah, it really is. So yeah, they blow up the volcano with the missiles, or part of it. Luckily, these haphazard missiles firing never once hit Aquaman or Patrick Wilson.
Wait a minute. So are we saying that when they blew up that volcano, they released all the Thetans into the universe?
Oh, dude.
That's why there's a volcano on the cover of Dianetics. That's how it started.
Canon. This is Scientology canon now.
God damn it.
Thetans were just doing their thing in a volcano.
After they blow up the volcano, Manta and Randall Park escape in their yellow submarine.
And both of them. We didn't know that they could fly submarines.
We didn't.
I'd like to be.
So then Dolph Lundgren and Lobster Gimli tell Arthur and his mom, Nicole Kidman, that they don't trust Orm.
That's a badass nickname.
Lobster Gimli.
Lobster Gimli.
Yeah. Orm tells them that he learned that the trident was created by Cortax, the brother of King Atlan, ruler of the lost kingdom of Necrus. Cortax was imprisoned with blood magic following a failed attempt to steal his throne. Realizing that the blood of Atlanteans' descendants could release Cortax, they realize that this will lead them back home.
Yeah, and then we get to see Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen just crispy.
Yeah. Luckily, though, Tamora Morrison isn't crispy to Uncle Beru or Uncle Owen Aunt Beru level.
If they just cut to a scene and a door opened and Boba Fett walked out.
That would have been amazing.
The game would be over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a trident. I've got a space laser. Let's dance.
Yeah. Papa Jango Fett gets stabbed by Manta and they kidnap Arthur Jr. Arthur, Orm, and Nicole Kidman arrive too late to stop the kidnapping. Because see, in my brain, Nicole Kidman and Randall Park are just themselves. They're not characters.
You're assembling a dream team, and that's it.
On the ship, Randall Park is even less happy about the baby stealing than he was about the global warming. So he drops a pin and shares his location with Arthur. The Atlanteans head to Antarctica. Big fight. Necrus. They go to Necrus. Arthur fights Manta. He almost dies, but then Amber Heard arrives back for her contractually obligated remaining 5 minutes of screen time and saves him. Manta throws the black trident at Amber Heard, but Orm catches it before it can hit her. Then the spirit of Cortax leaves Manta and goes into Orm, and now Orm has water Sauron in his brain.
So I don't know if anybody remembers, but Orm and Amber Heard were an item before Aquaman stole her hand.
I think that's right.
Marriage originally.
That's right.
Just a reminder.
That's right.
They went through a messy divorce.
Manta says you stole his throne and his woman. That's low, Aquaman.
That is kind of low. It's like stealing somebody's chick and then getting in his car and driving away. He's like, I'm going to cut every aspect of your life. Yeah, there's that too.
Sitting at his desk.
Be like, I heard you've been texting my girl. That's my wife.
I now manage this department of the fucking auto dealership. That's my job.
You get to sit in the back desk now, Dave.
You know nobody likes you, right?
Yeah, so now Orm's bad now for a little while anyways. He fights Arthur, uses Arthur's blood to free Cortax, but then Arthur convinces his brother to give up his hatred.
The power of love and brotherhood.
Huey Lewis knew what was up.
Why doesn't anybody ever use the power of indifference?
Yeah,
which is extremely powerful and very important. Like,
really
why don't they ever explain? Like, it doesn't matter, bro. Like,
you know how much
you can live your life
if we didn't fight.
Yeah. Imagine if we didn't care,
bro.
Imagine if we didn't have to think about this.
Yeah, bro. What if we just chilled? Chilled. So then, they destroy Kordax and the Black Trident. Kordax's magic vanishes. Necrus collapses. Manta refuses Arthur's help, and he falls into a big crack. Then the Atlanteans and Randall Park escape to safety and decide that Orm's been pretty cool, man.
He's coming around.
Yeah, they're not.
He's learnable.
They're gonna tell the Council of Atlanta that Orm.
It's called Hotlanta, please.
I was very confused because I thought this entire thing was happening in Atlanta, and I was like, "Where's Donald Glover?"
Where are all the awesome strip clubs?
Yeah.
Oh, there's that one.
Kidman.
Yeah. Where's all the?
She's like, does this turn you on? What if I talk like this?
He just comes up to the surface to smoke.
Yeah, I guess. She's like, I'm sorry, I love sea urchins. I don't crack them open, I just eat them whole.
So they decide to tell Atlantis that Orm's dead, and so that he can go live. Be free, boy, go.
Wow, what if you could use that to get out of prison now? Like, where is he? He's dead. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, because he's gone.
Yeah. Imagine
you don't
Trump
need to prove
saying
it.
that with Bannon, like on the phone. They're like, just pretend you're dead, dude. I'll just tell people. You don't have to go report for your sentence. It'll be fine.
Go live in the sea.
I'm thinking of a go live in the sea. Yeah, I'm talking about some random dude with misdemeanors or something.
Well,
yes,
no,
Your
I mean,
Honor, he's dead.
But he is the king of Atlantis, and he's got the city of Atlanta with him.
That's true.
But yeah, just
You're right.
pardoned through faking your death.
Yeah.
Like, I can't give you an official pardon, so
Yeah,
just
but-
fake it this time.
We're under the sea. None of these laws really are applicable.
It's sea law.
Jaywalking's still on the books. Come on.
Bob Loblaws specializes in sea law.
Bob Loblaw's law blog.
Loblaw, yeah. Then Aquaman decides he's going to tell the world about Atlantis, so he goes to the United Nations and says, "We're here. We're wet. Get used to it." That makes Randall
Doesn't he
Park
say-
happy.
Doesn't he say I'm Aquaman?
He does.
Yeah.
He's
To
like in
mirror
a
the
Tony
Iron Man
Stark
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's poetry.
And that could have been cool, but it was sort of anti.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, Atlanteans come to the surface. They even have children with
this is a
people.
world with like Superman and stuff. This isn't going to freak them
Yeah.
out that much.
They're like fish people.
Or do you think the orange suit hid your identity?
Right. With no mask. Like, we can see
Right.
who you are, and you look like Jason Momoa, so you're pretty,
Right.
you stand out in a crowd.
I was going to say, just like The Rock or Vin Diesel, like everyone everywhere recognizes you. If you showed a picture to people in another part of the world of Jason Momoa, they'd be like, "Oh, that's that Jason Momoa guy."
It's Aquaman.
But he had to reveal his identity.
Yeah. It's weird. It
At
doesn't
least
make
Tony had a helmet on. There was some question about what Iron Man was. Is he a robot? Is he?
And they
It's like,
declared war
that's Aquaman.
on this surface in the first movie. So like,
And he officially joined the Justice League,
Yeah.
yeah.
who
He fought-
officially saved the world.
He fought Darkseid
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Wonder Woman and the Flash and the fellas.
Yeah. They just wanted that moment.
Yeah. Then Randall Park is real happy because now the world will he won't have to steal babies anymore.
Or look for ancient artifacts for deranged, vengeful subdwellers.
Who was funding Black Manta? Like, he had a lot of guys. He had a ton of
And
guys.
a lot of money.
Where
Yeah.
was this coming from?
Piracy.
I don't know because
I think
I was going to say in
They
the
were
first
really
one they're
successful
pirates.
pirates. Yeah.
He and his dad.
Fair.
But still, I'm with it. What accounts does he keep it?
They were like Disney level pirates. They were so successful.
No, yeah.
But yeah,
Credits roll, and a mid-credit sequence, we get the very last scene of the Snyderverse in which Orm eats a cockroach burger.
It's beautiful.
Can we all admit DC has the absolute worst mid or end credit scene?
This is the best one.
Yeah,
honestly,
they've never been good.
One they've ever had.
Yeah,
and you don't need to tease a future setup or anything, but they're just so boring.
Yeah,
so boring. What about a quick clip of Aquaman meeting as yet introduced? Do you know? But like,
yeah. So
he has a taste for cock. What is he, Renfield? Like, I just hate their mid-credit shit.
And they're
supposed to give you fan service. You know, mid and end credit scenes. You know, like the best. When I went to see the Marvels in the theater, I like the movie now. But the best part was seeing Beast, was seeing X-Men 97 Beast, or meeting a cockroach. I felt nothing, Doctor.
I mean, this was still probably the best one in that it was at least a thing they were calling back from the movie that was with the most interesting character in the movie.
No, there was nothing wrong with it practically. It's just they are just the studio of missed opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, so much so.
Most of the stuff is not bad, but we all have a point where it's like they really should have done this. They really should have said this.
I mean, they just
you don't take the two oldest superheroes in history, Superman, Batman, and then just keep giving you the same fucking shit.
The missed opportunities are incredible in the DCEU. This, I mean, this is this is the last time we're gonna be talking about a DCEU movie on this podcast ever. So
I'm hopeful for James Gunn.
Yes,
Peacemaker was brilliant. He has the right attitude about comic book characters.
And from what
every one of us were like, Guardians of the Galaxy. What the fuck? I barely remember that. I know there's a raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
And he made them. Yeah, so I hope he can do this. He says he's omitting the origin story. Like, there might be 5, but we're not going to see soups from the very beginning.
Yeah, but I
thank goodness.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful given the tone of the stuff we've gotten and leaks and such coming out and official Instagram posts he's made too. So, I'm hopeful.
Character choices.
Yeah,
like Metamorpho's awesome. Guy Gardner's awesome. Mm-hmm. They're always afraid of what they have, so they make up shit on the spot.
I'm excited to see James Gunn's Aquaman.
Frankly,
so am I.
Unironically.
These are supposed to be fun. Okay? Christopher Nolan gave us the very serious, dramatic, and they're beautiful and they stand alone. But otherwise, it's supposed to be fun. Mm-hmm. A guy that lives under the ocean and talks to fish. Like, The Deep is better at it than Aquaman.
So, ultimately, the big problem with the DCEU was Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy was very, very successful, and they thought that that tone could transfer to all of the DC universe of being dark and grim and gritty, and that's not what it was.
But they didn't even take advantage of the universe. They, like you said, just kept making that same gritty sort of version of these same characters. They're so afraid to introduce these, like, I don't know. I would love to see Mr. Mitsaplik. How do you say?
Mitsaplik?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'd love to see that. Like years ago, that would have been goofy to think of. But a raccoon is the coolest character in the MCU. So just fucking...
A raccoon made me cry. Like, goddamn.
It made me cry. Still does. But yeah, they don't take advantage of what they have.
Frankly, I'd like to see the Wonder Twins at this point. Like, go silly. Go silly, DC.
Hell yeah. I hear Plastic Man, that guy, that could be a whole movie. That character's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's everything you want Reed Richards to be.
Yeah. So
anyway, yeah.
Okay, so that's it on the DCU. That's it on Aquaman 2. which means we've got to do just a couple things here. We have to thumb, and we have to rank. We thumb and rank. And thumb and rank. So we'll go around the table. Josh, Aquaman and the Last Kingdom.
I give it a thumbs down. You know, it wasn't terrible, but I can't think of anything that stuck with me. And that's my big criteria. Do I want to watch this movie again? No. Thumbs down.
All right. Down from Josh. Brian, where are you going?
I'm going to give this movie a thumbs up because it was better than the first one. It's the rare sequel that's better than the first movie.
Was better than the first movie, I thought. Yeah.
That's not rare.
And for the same reason that you gave it a thumbs down, Josh, because this is a movie that I could put on in the background while I'm doing something and not need to watch it.
I have hundreds of those movies. It wouldn't be this one.
It's bright colors and loud sounds. I like that about this movie because I am a bass animal.
All right, thumbs up.
Al, where are you going?
A bass.
I enjoyed this movie. I liked it. I liked it more on the second watch. Like the first time I watched it, I don't know, the first 20 minutes, I was kind of, I don't know, ambivalent towards it. But yeah, watched it the second time, liked it more. Thumbs up.
All right, thumbs up for Al.
Al's also a bass animal.
It was fun.
It was better than I thought it was gonna be.
Nope.
But nonetheless, I can't recommend anyone watch this movie, and I don't ever want to watch it again. I'm gonna go down. So this is our most controversial movie to date since we've been thumbing. 2 up, 2 down.
I would like to say that my colossal fuck up of giving Ghostbusters 2 a thumbs down was the biggest travesty. But anyways. And I'm a forgiving guy. I like a lot of types of movies. But yeah, just I can't see enjoying it again.
I kind of am already regretting giving this movie a thumbs up, but you know.
Oh, your point makes sense.
I got 2 minutes of Jason Momoa just riding a motorcycle in circles to Bad to the Bone.
No.
You know?
Born to be Wild.
Or Born to be Wild.
Bad to the Bone would have been an incredible needle drop compared to Born to be Wild when you're on a motorcycle. So, all right. So the last thing we got to do is rank it. So
I mean, I say pretty low. I can't. This list is too small to see, but.
Let's.
I guess I think it should be lower than maybe Brian and Al do. So I'll let you guys suggest first.
I think it's better than Black Adam.
I think it's better than Black Adam.
I think it's better than Black Adam.
I think it's better.
Black Adam was an insult.
You mentioned The Flash earlier, Josh. What do you think?
It's not great, and the first 15 minutes I skip over, but there was a lot I liked about it. It felt like they were very in universe.
Well, we all know it's not better than Return of Swamp Thing.
I mean, I don't think it is. I also don't think.
If I can see this.
So we've got here 88 is Return of Swamp Thing, 89 is The Flash, 90 is Shazam, Fury of the Gods. So we have 2.
Wait, well, what about above Black Adam and below Venom? Or below Black Adam and in between Fast? This is the area. I'm the one you.
I enjoyed Venom more than this, and they are both as rewatchable as each other for the same dumb.
I really liked Venom.
I think
Black Adam, I don't need to see again.
Should this go above or below Batman v Superman?
Just out of spite, it should go above it.
I mean,
I would have said below because as many problems again, but Bat v Superman did deliver some fan shit.
That's true.
More than this, but it's not a hill for me. It's not one of my favorites. But I do like Venom, and I actually like the Venom series.
I really liked Venom. They get better with each one.
I think
they do.
Yeah, they do. They really do. I personally liked this movie better than Batman v Superman, just on a personal level. But I don't really want to rewatch either.
Yeah.
Al?
Okay.
What do you think?
I liked the suggestion of below Venom.
Okay.
I do too.
Between Venom and Black Adam.
All right.
Yeah, and that doesn't put it above Batman v Superman. So if you like that one more, then, or you liked this more than that,
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of puts
I like this.
Puts the DCU in one place.
A lot
Yeah,
of it. Yeah.
that makes sense. It wasn't offensive the way Black Adam was offensive. It was like The Rock, I don't know, wanted to make sure it wasn't related to anything else.
Yeah. All right. So we put it at number 95. That's out of 169. So bottom half.
Yeah. That's fair. It's not the worst one.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is it for the DC Snyderverse. That is it for Aquaman 2. Next time on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Madam Web.
Oh yeah.
It's a thing. It's web-licious.
Talk about an insult.
One universe dies and another universe is born.
The webverse.
The circle of
I
life.
mentioned it, and we'll talk about it next week, but it totally feels like someone that worked at Sony was begrudged against Sony and made this as sort of revenge. Like, that's how it felt. It felt like someone was trying to sabotage the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. It was like Green Goblin made a movie about
Right.
Spider-Man.
It wasn't just that it was bad or poorly written, I feel like someone sat down at a laptop and was like, fuck Sony and fuck Spider-Man. We'll see why. And Andy's going to join us for that one.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. That is next time on Harmless Phosphorescence. Until then, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Goodbye, Snyderverse. You truly were a cockroach burger.
I'm Josh Cece, and remember to always wait an hour after eating before you save Atlantis. I'll do my other tag these. So I want to normalize octopuses playing something other than drums in an undersea band.
I feel like they'd be really good at like horns, like
Bass guitar,
anything.
trombone.
They're the smartest, and they always have to play drums. All right, sorry.
They could play two guitars at once.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And a guitar.
It's because Ringo wrote that song, so they got pegged as drummers.
That's who taught Ringo, his octopus teacher.
You know, it's a shame Aquaman died back there in the Snyderverse. I'm Brian Lesh.
I'm ruthless, but I'm not insane. I think I have that backwards. I'm Alaric Weber.
And thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Blub, 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 blub.